Basilica. We had to take 2 metros to get here, but there's 2 different churches. One is the newer one, which is on my right here, and the older one is actually behind me. There's the Virgin in this one. It used to be in this one, and maybe you can see in the video, I don't know, but this whole entire church is kind of leaning like this. It's sinking in forward, and if you walk into it, it's a lot of it's a sloped angle walking up into it. We're coming here because Kimberly is a Catholic. I am an atheist, so I have a different perspective on all of this. But it's still extremely pretty. Without religion, you wouldn't have all the temples that the Aztecs and the Toltecas and all that built. You also wouldn't have these beautiful churches that are all across Mexico. But with that, a lot of the gold that's in these is stolen from the Aztecs, stolen from the Native Americans that were here. So it brought a lot of suffering and pain, and they forced Catholicism on this region whenever they didn't really believe that to begin with. So there's a lot of different colliding perspectives with this. It did make for a very beautiful church, very beautiful region, and you can extremely see the influence that Catholicism has had on the Mexican country. But at the same time, there was a lot of death and suffering due to this switch of religions into this. I think we should walk up to the top.
Where?
Where all the other stuff is.
We should now.
I know, but let's not be lazy.
The other side.
We can't be lazy. I mean, there's 2 really pretty churches here, but there's actually a lot more buildings if you walk up kind of I wouldn't call it a mountain. What would you?
Yeah.
Is it a hill or a mountain?
It used to be a hill de Peyac.
Hill de Peyac. But yeah, so if you walk up that, there's a lot more pretty buildings. So we're about to take you up that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's actually a decent walk. It's not a mountain, but it is a decent hill. But it's worth it. We'll try to get a couple pictures in. We'll try to get a couple videos to show you, maybe talk about it a little bit. But you can just see how big this courtyard here is in the Basilica. Right behind me is where they do it's not burials, is it? It's they do funerals there. I don't know if they actually bury people there, but yeah.
No, you pay for a stay here, but we have 2 sections. One is down there and one is next to the Virgin. That's expensive.
So yeah, you actually pay to get buried there for a short period of time. Not really buried, but your body gets kept there here at the Basilica.
You have to be ashes to be here.
But yeah, you have to be cremated and then you get put there. So you can see behind me here, there's a beautiful fountain, beautiful waterfall, and an absolutely just beautiful staircase here. So they really focused on the area around this, and it's just absolutely beautiful. You wanna say something? No? En español? ¿Tienes nada? ¿Nada? ¿Segura? ¿Segura? ¿Futuro? Futuro?
Oh,
Futuro. Sounds like churro. So yeah, you can see the original steps here, and then they kind of added in the handicap section here, which Kimberly's kind of being lazy walking up that. But it's also really steep anyway, so it's not really being lazy. So you can kind of see how high we've already climbed so far with being equal with almost the top of the churches. Whew, I really need to get into shape. But this staircase is still extending all the way up here.
Because we're high enough.
Well, the altitude where I live is about 3,500 maybe, 3,500 feet. And Mexico City is sitting at about 7,500, and we're going up even more now. So Okay, so behind me is another church, and if you don't really understand Catholicism, which I didn't until Kimberly, there's a lot of different saints, and there's a couple or a bunch of different versions. So they tend to build a church for different saints or different virgins, and that big new church has the Virgin in it. This other church was for another saint, and this one right here behind, that's for Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay, so the old church, was for Jesus, and the church behind me here is actually for another saint, and we're about to find that out.
That's weird. They're taking
So this right here is a cemetery. It's also
another one.
It's another one. It's the older version of what you just saw down there. Because like I said, this is a very old place. A lot of these churches are really, really old. But they're taking a picture right in front of the cemetery, which is a little weird, but it is a beautiful building. So we're gonna go inside the church. So yeah. Okay. Am I recording you this way?
It doesn't matter. I just want it back.
You just want that way? I'm gonna flip it around for you. Let me give me a second. So we've got a couple beautiful paintings on the side walls that we stole pictures of, videos of, and usually the ceilings are just absolutely beautiful in the way that they're painted, and things are just outlined in gold, which you'll kind of see in those other videos. But we're gonna kind of walk through the rest of this now and show you the rest of kind of the courtyard, kind of the I don't know if I'd call it really a garden, but it is almost. It's just a huge garden with a beautiful path through it. So yeah, we'll just show you a little bit of that. Okay, it's kind of backwards, but as you can see, there we go, we got another one, as you can see. But behind me there was a sign for sanitarios, and it made me think, and I kind of wanted to talk about that. So in the United States, every bathroom is free. There's bathrooms everywhere, and here in Mexico it is completely different. So you end up having to pay anywhere from what, four to, well, I've paid up to 7. I paid up to 7 sometimes. So it's anywhere from about 3 to 7, I'm gonna say. She says 5, but I'm gonna go 7 pesos to use the bathroom, and a lot of times they just give you like a little tiny packet of toilet paper. That is like a huge difference. Is just be prepared. You're gonna have to pay for your bathroom, and they're not really everywhere. So take the advantage of going when you can. But I just want to show behind me is another just beautiful fountain. I'm not really at the best angle for it, but let me see. You can see kind of like more of the Aztec heads coming out of the wall, and then there's a beautiful fountain that way. And I'll flip it around and show you real fast. So yeah, about this time it gets kind of busy. More and more people start coming. It's getting about 12 o'clock. So he ends up getting a lot of people, and she's still trying to get to Xochimilco, which is the canals, and out in a completely different region of Mexico City. But so she's kind of moving a little quicker than I am, because I just really want to capture this on video, because it's just an absolutely beautiful kind of garden set up here, where they just have a lot of plants, a lot of fountains and everything. It's just really beautiful. And I really don't have enough time to actually capture everything that's here. She says I've been recording everything, which, I mean...
Yeah, he has.
I'm trying to really capture a glimpse of what this place is, and how beautiful the fountains are, and how just absolutely beautiful this whole section is. And so she's getting a little rushy, but I understand it. We really do have to get moving.
Well, the problem was that I told him to wake up early so we could go to La Villa or Basilica and go up and down, and he was like, no, we don't need to do that.
Well,
I was like, okay, I'm good if we're just going to
Can you define
Basilica.
what you think is early here in Mexico City?
Hmm?
Can you define what you think is early?
well, early, like around 6, 7, like wake up because we need to take a bus. And
you're okay. You can use that angle too, I think. Well, for her, she wants to wake up at like 6 because the buses and everything get really busy around 7 and 8 in the morning up until probably about 9. Then it starts to slow a little down. But that's because everybody's trying to go to work. And I woke up at what?
8.
I did not wake up at 8. I woke up at 7.
No, you didn't.
Okay, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't.
You turned off my alarm. My alarm was like 7:50. And you were like, oh, it's the same.
Yeah, because your alarm always goes off at 7:50. I don't know why she has one at 7:50, but yeah. So, you ready? You ready to go now? I'm busy waiting on you. Nah, she's actually always waiting on me. You want to do anything for yours, baby, in Spanish?
Right here.
Not here, not here. I just talked through the whole thing. I can't shut up, it seems like. The sun is bad this way, isn't it? Okay, so behind me here is this absolutely beautiful fountain. I believe those are Aztec people? Yes. Converted Aztec people, and right behind me there is the Mother, the Virgin Mary, and then you can kind of see all the statues there. But one thing that she wanted to point out is right there you have a what's it called? Mojete? Molcajete. Okay. And there's a couple of these throughout the fountain here, and you're supposed to try to throw a coin into them. I'm not that good at it. I don't know what happens. What happens if you do get it in there? Anything?
You just have to make a wish. Right?
So it's kind of like a wishing well, where you just throw the coin in, but you make a wish and you try to throw it in the molcajete. Woo, that's a difficult word. She's actually gonna make a video of all the difficult words in Spanish for me to say, but yeah. So behind me here is the Templo del Pocito? Yeah, Pocito. And there's a holy well right there in the entrance, and it's not really as big of a church as the other ones. It's not as pronounced. And I was about to go try to talk in it just to give you something, give a little bit different of a video, try to talk in one of them, and apparently you're not supposed to talk in any of them. So here I am on the outside of it, giving the video now. But this, if you can see it, is really tall, and this one's also kind of sinking. It's set this way, and you can clearly see it with the well how it's actually angled. And there's all these little things here to try to get into the. And behind me, I just took a video of it, and I'll put that on there too. But it just can show you here how it's actually sinking, and the difference of all these cracks here. So I'd highly advise coming to Mexico City early, as soon as you can. It's one of those cities that a lot of this old architecture is being affected by the fact that it is on an old lake bed, so it's sinking, and the earthquakes are not helping. And when we were in Cholula, I think we were gonna go to a couple different churches, but they happened to be closed because of the earthquakes that recently happened. You can actually see there's a crack in the wall behind me here, right there. But they were closed because of that and all the architecture that was kind of getting messed up, and they just didn't want to let people in. So what's potentially thought is that there's actually maybe more. It wouldn't be surprising if there's more pyramids or temples under any of this, like especially the older churches, because a lot of what they did was build over the temples of the Aztecs just to make sure that they would convert them. And you can see this wall right here behind me is actually in the style, and it was by the Aztecs. That's the way that they would do it, was they'd lay the stones, they'd put the mortar in between, and then they lay the little stones in between that. So when you see those type of walls, that's what that means. So we're actually about to walk in, and I'll show you a little bit of videos. Actually, I can turn around. But right here, if you can see, it actually says Antigua Basilica de Indios. So this is the church for the Aztec Native Americans once they were converted, and that really shows you a little bit of the differences in racism and the way that they were treating the Native Americans here. That this is a church completely built separately than the main church that we already took you into and the other church on top of the mountain, and you're really going to notice the differences within it. The other ones are absolutely beautiful. They have a lot of gold inlays. They have just beautiful paintings. And so when you see in here, you're gonna notice a huge difference from the Spaniards' churches and what they built for the Native Americans. My hair looks terrible, if not. So, I have to apologize. I'm not the most well versed on a lot of the history here in Mexico. I'm not really well versed in a lot of the things, but my main point here is just to try to show you well, that's a hole. Woo, okay. It's just to try to show you around this area, show you the beautiful architecture, and show you what Mexico City really has to offer. When it comes to like the history, the dates and stuff like that, she definitely knows a lot more. She went to school here, and ooh, I'm getting a little bumpy. But sorry if the camera's a little shaky. This whole courtyard here is made of a bunch of different rocks, and it's a little uneven, but it's still absolutely beautiful. But like I said, the dates and stuff like that, the history, I'm not as well versed in. I'm probably messing a lot of things up. Feel free to put that in the comments, what I'm messing up, or correct me. But like I said, I just really wanted to show you what Mexico City has to offer and the absolutely beautiful cultural aspects that they've really embraced and protected here. And there's a lot that hasn't been protected also, but rich history here that maybe the United States doesn't appreciate of their own. We don't really appreciate the Indians, the Native Americans like we should. And we don't really appreciate the history that they have to offer us as much. There's not as much as studied, and it's not as prevalent as it is here.
And the last two churches that we went, one, it was supposed to be like a place where everybody went to take a shower or clean their clothes, and then they made at the church over that. And the second church, it used to be I'm sorry, the first one, the Parroquia del Pocito, that's an important place because one of the guys who was Jose Maria Morelos y Pavon, who helped to the independence of Mexico, was about to be killed in one place, and he got permission to came here and say goodbye to the Virgin, and he went to that place. And the second one, the Parroquia de los Indios, Hidalgo, who was a priest in Hidalgo, he got like a flag, I will say, and in the flag there was the Virgin of Guadalupe, and that was the emblematic thing to represent Mexico as an independent country. Because back then we just had the flag which represents New Spain, or which is this country right now, but he wanted to be emblematic, so he used the Virgin of Guadalupe to represent Mexico in 1800. And that flag used to be there in 1850 something till 1890 something, where they moved it out of that church, and I believe they just took it to the Chapultepec, where it is right now. So all this area is well, not all this area, but like that area is emblematic because it helped to the independence of Mexico. And this part is like everybody believes in the Virgin of Guadalupe, and it's an emblematic place.
So yeah, as you can see, she knows. As you can see, I did it again. Okay, I'm trying to get rid of that phrase. She says she's gonna make a video of me making fun of it, because I tend to use that a lot to point out things. But my point is, she knows so much more history and everything about this place, just like I know a lot more American history, just because it's what we studied growing up individually. But like I said, there's just so much that Mexico City has to offer.